let's start our Gold Cup predictions with Group A in this video. We're going to do a video for each group individually, so make sure to keep an eye out for your country in those groups. But before we get into it, first, let us know in the comments down below how you think this group is going to finish, first through fourth. And second, we're going to actually be going to some Gold Cup games to watch Jamaica and all of Group C play. So we're going to be vlogging it for you guys. So if you guys want that content, make sure to subscribe down below and turn notifications on. But let's just get into the predictions, gentlemen. We'll start at fourth. We'll make our way to first of Group A, which obviously has Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Mexico, and Suriname. Who wants to go first? Fourth place is who, for your guys' opinion? I feel like this might be a general consensus type of pick here, but who's in fourth place for all of you?
I'll go first. No, Joaquin, I'm going first. I'm going
Here,
first.
you said it.
No,
You already said the country.
Finish it.
Dominican Republic. Me and Joaquin are in agreement. I think we're the only ones in agreement here about this fourth place.
Yeah, I was gonna say agreements. Off to a banger. Dominican Republic in fourth. I think I haven't been fourth too. Diego, I'm gonna assume you haven't been fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, P.
Well, and you know what? No shade to the Dominican Republic too, because I actually really like the team they're building, and they're Concacafing the hell out of their team. And I say that by meaning like they're getting a lot of dual nats, especially from the Spanish leagues, which I do like a lot. It's just, in my opinion, not enough yet to break these three of Costa Rica, Mexico, and Suriname, which we will go talk about it in a little more. Okay. We don't even have to cover Dominican Republic in fourth, to be honest. Now we can get into the nitty gritty.
So dirty, bro. I was gonna say they would have had a chance in Group D, but not in Group A. They would have
had a chance in Group D.
They just got bad lot.
Some people might consider this a group of death, and you can say that for almost every single group here. But Group A is a tough group, and no shades to the Dominican Republic. I just don't think it's
someone has to die. So.
Someone has to finish fourth.
So that's two teams have to die. What are you talking about?
I don't know about death. I don't know about dying. Oh, I'm sorry. I see. And you know what? The Dominican Republic too are also kind of screwed because their first game is against Mexico. Like they start playing the number one seed in that group, meaning they're probably. Like, you know, if you go on odds, they're probably going to be
-5 goal differential, baby. Just wait.
I don't know about that, but they're not going to have a point afterwards, and that's going to be really hard to come back from not having a point in your first game because you only play 3 games in comparison to Costa Rica and Suriname. Okay, we move on to third then, and this is where, like I said, starts to get might be a little juicy. I'll give Joaquin the stage here because I just took the limelight from him in the beginning. Third would be
My
who
bad.
Right, let me speak.
I'll let you cook.
I'm gonna go a little. Controversial. I'm gonna go Costa Rica. I'm gonna. And there's
for some reason I was gonna say Mexico. I really thought
I'm not that
Mexico
controversial. I'm going Costa Rica. Honestly, I think it's closer between Suriname and Costa Rica. Personally, for me, because obviously we already know. I mean, I don't want to go ahead, but it's between them two.
The video's done.
No. I'm just saying, like, that's what they're competing with. Really, is like for second or third, in my opinion. And looking at that, like previously, Costa Rica has played Suriname like in the Nations League, and it's relatively close, tied 1-1. They won 2-1 another game, but still, like, red cards they both had in that game. So, like, it was nice. It was a rough match. But that just shows, like, it could go either way. And, like, Suriname, their roster looks strong. And Costa Rica, I'm not saying it's not strong, but I feel like, only 3 games. You don't know what could happen. Suriname gets a surprise win somewhere. I feel like Costa Rica might lose a couple games and they end up third.
What came with the facts today? What's new, though? What is new? Diego, you're third.
That's for the non-factual one.
Hey,
yeah, the vibes-based predictor here.
Vibes-based, that's right. I'm gonna have to. I think both teams are very good. I personally am gonna put Suriname third, and that's not to take away from Suriname because I know we've talked about them quite a bit, and we all think they're a pretty good up-and-coming team, and that they're putting together a nice, solid foundation. But I think Costa Rica, they've played it at a higher level for longer. They have World Cup experience, and even if not all those players that were in that World Cup are here now, they still got that foundation. So I'm talking more about Costa Rica, but anyways, Suriname, I'm gonna put them third just because I think Costa Rica will edge them. It's more because of I think Costa Rica has the edge rather than Suriname doesn't, and so I think that's why I'm just putting them third. But this is no disrespect to them. I think they can get they can totally surprise and finish a higher than we expect, and I'm all for it. This is not me putting them down at all, but I'm gonna have to go Suriname third.
Okay, 1-1 here. Andres, your third place.
Man, I can't believe I made a comment about Diego's opinions, and then I have to agree with the brother. Crazy. I have Suriname a third. Honestly, it's shocking. I know there's about to be some amazing analysis, but that head-to-head game is actually probably going to decide the
I was
shot.
about to say that.
Yeah,
I was literally going to say that.
It's tough to call. Like Joaquin said, they tied 1-1 in the Nations League, and they're both top of their groups in the World Cup qualifiers. But Costa Rica, you got to remember, didn't do too bad in the Copa America last summer. Yeah, they finished third with 4 points. They tied against Brazil and they lost. They beat Paraguay, and then we're going to talk about the other game, for this sake. And then they barely. You got to also remember watching this game. They barely lost to Panama in the Nations Leagues in the quarters, and it was a pretty close game. I don't know. I just think the experience of them being in. Like they have going into this game. Also, isn't Miguel Herrera their coach now?
I was gonna say I was gonna use that to counter you, Andres. Actually,
I was gonna say I like the project he's building right now. So I was gonna say that I think with him as a coach, I wish he was the Mexican national team coach. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but I just think the experience of the managerial and just them overall, and I think Suriname's a good team. But I'm not saying that they're not. I think it's just. A little tough, just the group that they're in with in terms of now Group D. Once again, shocking analysis. If they were in Group D, they could finish first.
This is the Group D diss track video here. To counter your point, Andres, and obviously we've all said this is going to be very close, and I do think the loser of that first match, because it's the first game, is when they play each other. The loser finishes third place here. Costa Rica, yes, they have the Copa America, they have the Nations League. They looked really good through both, but Piojo Herrera, right, just came in January, and I think he's had one official game with the team, which was I think it was a 3-0 loss to the USA. It was just a friendly.
Yeah. Chill.
I'm just okay. If we're bringing up the 1-1s and the 2-1s, I can bring that up too.
I saw that. I chose to ignore that information when I was doing research.
See, he's had one official game. I can't off the top of my head remember if there's other friendlies or not that maybe don't count, but. He won official game and it was a 3-0 loss. And yeah, he had just got there. But I just don't know if the team is ready yet because he hasn't done anything with them yet. That is a huge difference maker with many teams. It's a big ask to go into this group. Having not played under your manager, not really had the opportunity to combine yet. And also, Costa Rica doesn't always have the most consistent call-ups. They do have, obviously starter players, but they're not always there with the team. So I want to give it to Costa Rica for number 3 here. But it's going to be very close. Like I said, loser of that game is going to finish third here. But I think it's going to be Costa Rica, which no shade because I like this Costa Rica team. I like Piojo as manager. I just kind of see Suriname doing if we're to go off Diego's vibes here, because look at how vibey he is. I think Suriname, it's almost their year to finally do something in Concacaf Gold Cup, and I'll lead this to number 2. Might as well. Number 2 is Suriname for me. I think they're going to advance. I don't think they're going to do much beyond that. They are going to be missing Geraldo Becker, just so you guys know. If you guys didn't know, they will be missing Geraldo Becker due to injury, which is a huge loss because he is arguably their best player available to them currently. But still, I for some reason have a lot of hope for Suriname, a lot of faith in Suriname, and I think they're going to pull it out. I think if they get that win against Costa Rica and they win against Dominican Republic, that's 6 points there. And I think that'd be good enough. They can lose to Mexico. I think they'll be fine having done that. But that Costa Rica game is just going to be huge. And if you guys want to comment on that second place, I know we kind of already have been a little bit, but why would Suriname or Costa Rica be in second place for you guys over their counterparts?
I'm gonna have to say I think Costa Rica have. I already briefly discussed this, but just that experience. I understand the coach is new. I get it. While that can be a factor, I also don't think it's necessarily a negative thing to begin with. There's a lot of opportunity for players wanting to impress and wanting to show what they can do. And overall, I just think Costa Rica have a game plan and they have a very solid team that I think overall they just know they know what they're good at and they know what they're not good at, and they know that for them it's not going to be dominating the ball against those bigger teams and that's what you kind of have to do. But I think I could see them pulling off a narrow win against Suriname. Obviously, we say they can beat Dominican Republic just like you said that Suriname can. It's not going to be easy. None of these games are easy. but they can pull off that win. Heck, all they need is a draw, really, and then they can still pull off something good. And so I like Costa Rica. I was always impressed, by what they can do with the resources they have, and I believe in them. I have a feeling that you call it a vibe that I think they can pull it off.
Dare I say a vibe?
Say, yeah.
So I mean, we can just who's finishing first.
This is a really bad democracy we got going because there's 4 of us, so there's gonna be a lot of ties. If anyone wants to apply for a 5th position here as a
the emails in the about section of our channel.
Please.
But yes, so who would obviously we're in a very easy consensus that Mexico are finishing first place. The state that Mexico are in right now, footballing wise, I just don't see them
Sorry,
dropping enough. Yeah, I can see maybe one draw, right? I feel like Mexico always has that
9 points, baby.
Mexico always has that one little draw that's kind of annoying, and it shouldn't have happened. And they were the better team, but they just couldn't pull it out in the end, right? I can see that happening.
Ball teams, bro, parking the bus.
So
annoying.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah,
it could be. But even then, I still think they get 2 wins and a draw. That's 7 points. I don't see another team getting. I don't see 2 other teams getting more than that or the same. So. Yeah, mathematically that's not possible. So I think Mexico, I'd be very, very brutal if they don't. Like that would mean crazy things that Mexico will be in the same state that they were in like months ago. Beyond that, but Mexico are making out this group in first place. I think if you say anything else, that'd be I think just naive or biased.
More biased than
Andres
me.
Is a Mexico fan. No,
you should have seen my Group D predictions, baby. You'll see true bias.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, we do so good for like 10 minutes in a video, and then boom, credibility just drops.
Well, luckily it's not a Group D video, so we're good.
Yeah. But Mexico, if anybody else has anything to say about Mexico, please do so right now.
We're just amazing, bro. I mean...
All right. Okay, if anybody else besides Andres or anything
the squad we have going into this is a very solid squad. Check out the video that probably is going to come out before this. So make sure you watch it. It's a great squad for the Gold Cup, and it's probably going to be something similar to the World Cup. So you got to stay with it. And the only problem is complacency is what I'd be worried about in terms of going into this. We talked about it before. Complacency could be an issue. I honestly, with this group and with this, especially with Costa Rica and Suriname being as good as they are, compared to years past of being in groups and being able to squeak by playing just like rotating like starters with bench players, yada yada yada. It's going to take a lot more attention. And then these are the important games that you need to win to solidify yourself as the best, as you can take care of business even when it's not that challenging. You got to put them away early. That's my only concern, but I don't think we're going to take Suriname, Costa Rica, or Dominican Republic too lightly anyways. So I think it's going to be interesting Group A though for that second place.
I want to add something. Sorry, real quick. I think Mexico are obviously the strongest team in this group. Maybe the strongest team in the Gold Cup. You could argue about obviously Canada or whatever, but definitely there's something to argue about. But I think they do and will be figuring out how they can best get their offense to work. In my opinion, that's the thing that maybe is the most up in the air. I understand they have the players. They just need to figure out the right combination and the right lineup. And we were discussing if they're going to do 2 strikers again like they did the last time out, or if they're going to go with the 2 wingers, which wingers, all that stuff. So I think, if anything, that is something that we might see change if they're not having enough success with it, which obviously we hope that the right off the bat they find that right, personnel. But I could see that being one thing that they don't know for sure. I feel like the defense is pretty set, for the most part. I feel like the midfield can be pretty set for the most part. Like, you have your staples. The question is who they play in offense. So as long as that doesn't cost them at any point, they'll be good. Especially in this group. That's just to say within this group, they'll be good.
That's why it's good they start with Dominican Republic as their first game. Just experiment.
Yeah.
I would agree, but I also think that it's not a test yet. Maybe Dominican Republic surprises us, but I don't think it's going to be a huge test yet. Obviously, it's something we expect Mexico to win 2-0, 3-0.
4. I'm betting 4.
4-0. All right, you bet 4. You bet 4. You do that.
That's where my 2 Santi goals come in, gentlemen.
I think the Suriname Costa Rica matchups are perfect for them to figure out what's going to work, because these are not easy teams to beat. They're not going to be super easy to break down, and so if they find that right combination, they can really have a good test, so that when they get to those knockout rounds and they play those harder teams, they have that formula figured out by then.
Oh, fucking class, Diego.
Wow.
Why?
Vibes.
it-
I don't know what to tell you, man.
It's because he
Vibes.
it's because he finished school, right? So like all of his brain power can go to like just concocting some bullshit, but it works. I can appreciate that. Well, of course, let us know your list 1 through 4 in the comments down below of who you think is going to be finishing in what spot for Group A of the Gold Cup. We're gonna have a lot of coverage for it naturally, previews, predictions, reviews, reactions, maybe more. I don't know, maybe more. But we're gonna have a lot of stuff planned for us, so make sure to subscribe now to be a part of all that moving forward. My name is Elijah. I'm with Diego, Joaquin, and Andres per usual, and hopefully see you guys in future videos. Take care.
Peace.